Hey, it's Emma Romano here, founder of the Thrive and Life Foundation, self-healing coach, and the midwife to your personal alchemy.
I am Kelly Bowen, founder of the Heaven Within Foundation, CEO of Lifestyle Finance Australia, finance expert, life and business coach.
And you are listening to Inspired Conversations,
where we talk about the things that really matter. Yes, we go there.
We share together what's exciting us, inspiring us, and having the most profound impact on our lives and our clients' lives. And we do this to elevate and inspire you.
We cover it all from life, body, love, relationships, trauma healing, addictions, business, money, and all things woo-woo.
So sit back, relax,
and get ready to be inspired and laugh the fuck out loud.
Welcome, everybody. It's Emma Romano here. Kelly is still I think she's in Egypt right now. I have the beautiful Yia Alias here. This is Inspired Conversations with Emma and Cal. We're a podcast to simply inspire people. And this beautiful woman I was told, Emma, you got to get this woman on your podcast. She's freaking she's so inspiring and so amazing. I'm like, I just do as I'm told, peeps. That's all I'm doing, right? So I've got this incredible woman on here. We're going to talk about conscious eldering, rites of passage, and perimenopausal. Who here is perimenopausal? I think most of our listeners are. So I'm just gonna leave it to you. Yeah, please go ahead, my love. Just inspire us, change our lives.
Well, yes, I am a ceremony woman, and g'day everybody. It takes me a few moments to get into my groove, but hopefully once I get started, there'll be some flow there. It's such a large, enormous subject matter, and it's sometimes hard to know where to begin. So one place that I will begin is to pay acknowledgements to the beautiful land that I'm sharing on today. This is the land of not only the Darug people, but also the Darkinjung and also the Wiradjuri on the far west of our property. And we pay our respects to the beautiful traditions in caring for country that have been laid down for thousands of years before us. And one of the, I suppose, the premise of why I do kind of what I do is I know that we can't undo the harms of the past, but what we can certainly do is to create new stories founded in respect and care for each other and the land that we're on. Yeah, so out of that, we do offer ceremony here on our property for a whole range of things. Over the many years, I started to work quite a bit with young girls for when they first got their first period, which that rite of passage is called menarche. And looked at all the statistics of how empowering it was for girls to have this understanding and this languaging before their first period came, and empower them with body autonomy and understanding. Not so much, I worked with more just pre-puberty at that time, so it wasn't like a sex spiel or anything like that. It was more around exploring the changes in the body and what happens into the body around menstruation, and giving them that first step into what Jane Hardwick Collins would call the first altar of womanhood. Stepping onto that first altar with, without all of that menstrual shame. And that shame can lead into many things, eating disorders, body dysphoria, a lot of complexities. Yeah. So, yeah, with a community that I was living nearby, I had a lovely school community very close. We'd run these wonderful weekend workshops for the girls. This is ages ago now. And we did this very lovely rite of passage for them where, all the women would come and bless them with their, footsteps into the future. They'd all get a little gift, and then the girl would have to sort of show up with something, something that came from her essence, something she wanted to share with the world, whether it's a poem she wrote, a piece of art that she created, and shares that with the group. So consequently, on from that, I've always felt very strongly about respect and care for our elders in our society. And I'm quite horrified at how the overculture and its contents has created this real diminishment of eldership. Now we just associate getting old with dementia or, Alzheimer's, and everyone ends up in a nursing home, God's waiting room. And all that wealth of knowledge just dissolves and isn't left, for the future generations.
Yeah.
Or so many stories never get tended. And at the same time, I feel there's all this karmic debris that gets left on planet Earth.
Yeah.
From a lot of this untending of stories. So this is a very fast track synopsis. I started to create a ceremony for women when they had completed at least 13 lunar moons without menstruating, and offer them a space to step through the threshold of eldership, where they get a little crown, they get blessings and validation from their friends, and they also have to gift something out of their basket, and I call it the harvest basket. And consequently to that, I have created now something called What's in the Harvest Basket.
So how does this benefit? Can I go into the benefits for these women?
Yeah,
absolutely. So
Yeah.
they've finished their periods, they've got 13 lunar moons under their belt, and they're going this ceremony. What does it do for them? What does it do for them?
Well, what it does for them, I don't offer the ceremony anymore unless they go through this process, because as the years pass, I now realize that there's certain processes that need to happen. So if the participant is willing to dive into their personal biography through a process I've created called What's in the Harvest Basket, and we work with 7-year cycles to see what were the conditions when you were born? What was your family like? And then you work with each 7 years along the way, and you start to get a perspective of your life where you can now take responsibility to enter into a space of reinvention.
Oh,
yeah?
Wow.
Reinvention. So I'm just going to read you a short little quote from some of my writings, and we can unpack this a little bit more. So I've called her shamanic mystic, consciously evolving elder. So there's a powerful transition to navigate before menopause. It's the perimenopausal passage of early eldering. With its disruptive symptoms, it can challenge well-structured identities. It's akin to a shamanic dismemberment. The non-essential breaks down, fracturing values and questioning belief systems. Often a health crisis will throw a woman into the shadow self where unexpressed emotions and feelings, such as shame, are often encountered. Without many positive, inspiring images of this next stage of life, it can feel like a void from which fragments of the old are cooked up as the new identity incubates. Okay, so I've found around from 42 onwards, often women will be experiencing some kinds of challenges, either in their psychology or their, their physical symptoms. And it can be very subtle in the beginning, but what's happening is your hormones are starting to do that shift. And in that shift, things that haven't been integrated through your life, that you've put on the back burner because you're too busy and you're doing, I might like to call it a haunting. I don't know. I shouldn't call it that because that's maybe a strong word. But, these things, these unexpressed emotions can come through. Anger, rage, shame, it can all come up because we've never had a chance to sit and integrate all of our lessons.
Yep.
Now, each menstrual cycle traditionally in traditional women's mystery business is an opportunity for a woman to pause in her moon time, kind of integrate and digest what happened in that last period of time. You know, is there something I need to adjust in my behavior? Is there someone I need to apologize? Is there a dream that I've put on the back burner and I haven't brought to life yet? You know, whatever. There's this pause time is so essential, because I believe women are very highly connected through their biology to the cycles and intelligence of nature. And so as nature does, there's winter in nature, there's like a pause. And also when we can pause, that intelligence communicates through us. And the biography work offers an opportunity to go back through and maybe rewire or shine a spotlight on choices that one has made through one's life, why those choices have been made, and to be very conscious in that, rather than having this kind of victim self. I'm like this because, you know, this awful thing happened to me, let's say by a parental figure. It usually is, you know, it often is, not usually, it often is. And then with the process, I try and get people to see, okay, let's look at the culture when that parental figure was growing up. What was going on for them? Yeah. What has created the environment for them to be dysfunctional in that way? Because I don't believe it's an individual thing. I believe it's the whole of the culture. You know, obviously we have free will to do the right and wrong thing, but there's certain ways that the culture is and has been, and a lot of those ways are not supporting of true human values. You know, it's all very superficial, and our parents before them had some great difficulties. But now we're moving into a different age where we are more conscious. We've got a smorgasbord of modalities that we've never ever had before, like breaking through the 60s, you know, with so much came through that you know, acid drug culture of the 60s. It's sort of like the collective brain opened up, and you know, we had
I
you
just
know,
want to have a big shout out to all those hippies in the 60s who opened the consciousness of the brain. Thank you. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You know, yoga, East meets West, you know, herbalism, you know, crystals, you know, medicine wheels, you know, all these different modalities, suddenly all there, chakra healing, all of that. It's there like a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
And I know that in this new age self-development world, you might have heard the term spiritual bypassing. And I do believe there is quite a bit of that. You know, everybody wants the, you know, the Om Green smoothie moment.
Yes.
You know, and the look that comes with it and the success that comes with it. But actually, you can't get there till you really, truly meet those shadows within you and become personally responsible. So my whole thing is becoming personally responsible for our stories and empower ourselves so that we can support other leaders of the community coming through. Because traditionally, middle age, as women, we were mentors, we were the guides for our communities, you know. In Native American Indian law, the elder women would make what do you call it, dream up what they wanted for 7 generations into the future, that future thinking, you know, and the men would then implement whatever was necessary to make sure there was food, safety, clean water, you know, all the things that are needed, so that we don't leave not only the karmic debris upon the planet, which that is karmic debris, but at least that we can not keep adding to it through our, you know, unprocessed emotional life, which then feeds into the way we act in the world. Yeah.
I love
really
what you do. I think what you do for women is incredible. It's amazing. So for the women listening to this,
yes,
and who just want a big takeaway, like, what could you offer the women listening to you right now who are in many perimenopause? Because I remember when I was in perimenopause, so I had a hysterectomy at 39, but I'm now 52, and I left my ovaries, and I remember at 43, life started to get really difficult for me. And then at 44, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, optic neuritis, and chronic fatigue. I had depression, anxiety, like all these things happened. And I can tell you what it was. I was literally on the run for my first 44 years away from emotion. I was just on the run, and it caught up with me. And it was like, something happened to me in the year before when I was 43, on the 10th of April in 2013, I tore every ligament in my neck in a roller derby accident. And I still didn't stop. I just numbed myself out. And then, get this, on the 10th of April, exactly, 2014, I went completely blind in my left eye from optic neuritis. And that's when I found out they diagnosed me with multiple sclerosis. I've now healed myself of that. But it was, I wasn't listening to my body, and I wasn't listening to universe. I wasn't listening to God, whatever anybody wants to call it. I was just literally on the run from emotions and myself. The more I did, I thought the better I was. Just not true. And the multiple sclerosis really made me, it kicked my butt. I couldn't even walk. I couldn't work. I couldn't walk. I couldn't read. I couldn't drive a car. It was full on. And it was when I started really looking into, hang on, if something's catching up with me, what do I need to pay attention to? So I think this perimenopausal work is so important for us women.
Yes, it is. Look, that what a big journey that you went on.
Massive. I'm all for the perimenopausal celebrations and ceremonies and work, because most of my clients, most of the women I see are literally between the ages of about 42 and 47.
They're very powerful years. It's kind of like if you don't, the soul, I believe the soul has got this urgency to express its full potential of what you could have been bringing in this lifetime between the ages of 42 and 49. There's this strong urgency. Yeah. And because after that, we're moving into, less, some of our functions, aren't quite what they used to be. I mean, but the blessing is that we are living longer than we used to. And there's this, what's her name? Mary, Catherine Bateman, I think Bateman was her name, Margaret Mead's daughter, the anthropologist. She talks about this period of life called inserted life. If you look a little pie, you've got this little piece called inserted life. We are living longer, but we're living longer in good health because of there are positives in our Western system, which is, fresh food and water and medicines, all those things. And what do we do? And a lot of Western women are financially kind of okay, So what do we do with this particular wedge of life, And I believe there's a lot of empowerment going on there. And before, when you were saying you were running, we've all been so valued to show how busy we are. Oh, keep him busy. Oh, keep him busy. Now imagine you said, just taking time out. What?
Yeah. And I came from that household. If you were sitting down, if you got time to sit down, you got time to do something.
Absolutely.
Very valued of how busy we were. Even now, like everyone says to me, "You busy?" And when I go,
yes,
no, they go, "Oh no, business is not well." No, business is booming because I'm not busy. Try and wrap your head around that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back with a message to, to share, like a takeaway message. Firstly, I really would like to share that, really trust and understand that as women, we do have our biology, and our biology is cyclic. Yeah, we are cyclic beings and we're living in synthetic systems. And if women could even just take a pause around that menstrual time and, you know, maybe do a bit of altar work on that night or something, or, you know, bring in takeaway for the family that night, you know, not keep doing the usual roles,
Yeah.
and have a little bit more of an internal space. And it could be that you want to do your oracle cards. It could be that you go and sit in nature. Nature is is the ultimate intelligence. We are made out of the, you know, the minerals of nature in our bones. And Bone Woman, as the course is called such because I had a challenge at 42 myself. I nearly died from a very extreme case of pneumonia, and a lot of layers began to shed off me.
Mm.
And yeah, so there's an intelligence there that we need to allow space for that to connect in with us. Now, I believe that every new cycle brings a new beginning. It's just the way of cycles. You know, there's always a new beginning. But what happens is we don't tend the past, like, you know, integrate or digest the past cycle. And we're trying to get into the new cycle, you know, with all the potential and hope. And you hear of everybody, so many people going, oh my God, I feel like I'm pushing through mud, I can't manifest this, and so many obstacles. Well, I love this quote by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who wrote Women That Run with the Wolves. She's got this quote that says something about getting your skirt caught on the gate. And it's,
Oh,
you know, that feeling. So
yeah.
it's like, okay, all right, I'm turning around, I'm unhooking that skirt. What promises have I made that I haven't fulfilled? What obligations do I need to tend? What beautiful projects were important to me that I either now need to let go or reinvent? What is, you know, like everyone is different, you know. So from my last cycle is to reflect back, even have a journal. I used to have a moon journal, just moontime journal, just even write in it at that time, and start to get a connection to the ancient wisdom that already is in us as women.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I
Because
love,
it
and I
is
think that's really important, yeah, because so many of us women think that we don't hold the wisdom. We hold it innately. We're born with it. We
absolutely,
are born with
absolutely.
innate wisdom and
And
it's taking it in our bodies.
yes, and this is where I feel the rites of passage work is really helpful, because
Yeah.
otherwise, what is life? It just becomes like a fast train going to somewhere and over the edge.
Yes.
You know, retirement. It doesn't look pleasant, does it? Like you know, like you can play golf. I mean, like golf's great. My sister plays golf, but do you know what I'm saying? It's this idea of what does that mean? And I think there's a lot of intelligent women who have a lot to offer and can use their economic dollar for good things. There's a lot of power behind our economic dollar as middle-aged women, you know, as a form of activism, and also to support the young leaders that are coming through now, give our energy and attention to them and our guidance to them, and restore ourselves as elders in the community. Like Indigenous people really honor their elders. I'm a first generation Greek Australian. We're very respectful to our elders, and all the elder women are auntie in our culture, very similar to the Indigenous cultures. Now, before I completely finish today, I'm just going to give a very fast takeaway, because I think this will hit the nail on the head, okay? Because it's not much time. So I have an Aboriginal teacher that I've been sitting with for 25 years. I won't mention names right now, but she's a teacher of women's law. And she tells us that we have come to the earth, which is the place of all truth and all knowledge. And we've come here to be intimate with our emotions. Once we become intimate with our emotions, they don't have a hold on us anymore. Yeah. So that's that part. Now, I work a lot with that emotional state that and when you say to her, like, oh, okay, well, how do we deal with the emotions? She talks about our body having this energetic system, and all these rocks and stones as a metaphor get stuck in there. And some of them we could name as shame, anger, resentment, fear, doubt, all those things. And she does a little diagram of it, and you say to her, oh, well, what do we do to clear that? She goes, well, go and find a pair of ears with legs. And you go, what? It's kind of like what happens is all of these emotions, when they're stuck there, the beautiful light and the intelligence of this planet can't travel fully through us. It gets stuck in our bodies, and that's where the new cycle wants to come through, but it can't. It's stuck. But when we shine a light and we own our shame, own our fear, own our anger, own our envy and our resentment, our jealousies, all those icky, those emotions, what happens is we free that energetic system up within us, gives us more compassion for other people, and that energetic intelligence can flow through us. Beautiful. Yeah. So I suppose they'd be the biggest take homes. And if I would give an example, say, for example, let's just choose one that, pretty gross one, very sticky emotion, which would be shame. Yeah. When I was processing through all of this, and I was walking very fast from one room to another, and I was rubbing my arms, and I couldn't work out what it was. It was around the 42, and I realized it was shame. And I thought, if I walked really fast into the next room, whatever this thing was wouldn't follow me, So what I've discovered about it, becoming intimate with it, and this is what I support, some of my clients with, is, okay, there's things that we are ashamed of, stories, yes, and we need a confidant to bring that out into the light. But let's look a 360 lens also. Let's look at what we are ashamed of, because that's the shame, I think, that we hide. And there is a little bit of I won't call it a fashion, but we are kind of getting more comfortable in naming things that poured shame upon us as children. We're getting a bit more comfortable with speaking about that now, but I don't think we're comfortable with speaking about things that we first personally feel ashamed of ourselves about. Yeah. Okay. So what I do is I do a 360 lens in my mind, and I take responsibility for all emotions through me. If somebody is really triggering me, I'll go, okay, I can't do anything about them right now, but I can own this emotion. What has arisen in me right now, and where does it come from? And it's put me in a vulnerable space, and I process till it has no longer any charge, and I realize why it has had such an impact on me. And it's really liberating, to be honest, to be personally responsible. It's really liberating.
It's so powerful, because when we take responsibility, it's like, I'm not handing over my future or my feelings or my sovereignty to anyone else.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
That's right. So to see a community of women, comfortable in their skin with, good values, love, compassion, caring for each other, caring for the earth. And each one of us has got our own unique gift that is the soul is urging us on to express in this lifetime. So, we need to have each other's back, and support each other, so that we can leave a better planet behind for those to come. That's very important to me.
Yeah, thank you so much for today. It was so inspiring and so beautiful. It's so lovely to sit on here. It's an honor. Thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. Look, at the moment, I've withdrawn from a lot of things. So what I'm doing now is I'm developing this Conscious Eldering Bone Woman onto an online course. So I'm having people that understand those things to come and support me next week. And bit by bit, that'll come together. And I'll also be offering it in conjunction with a naturopathic natural health process by a naturopath, together with supporting with all the nutritional supplements, and also the understanding of, you won't be getting the supplements, but all of the information that will go with that, what supplements can support a woman through all of these changes, so we can become strong, strong, good, big-hearted women. Yeah.
How do people find you?
Do you know what? At the moment, they can find me on my website, www.yiaalias.com. I'm not actively working at the moment, but there are many ceremonies I do perform. One is the birthing ceremony with the placentas that I've been taught by my Indigenous teacher. I offer up a letting go ceremony that's been taught to me as well in that tradition. At the moment, I'm more in that sort of late autumn phase of my eldering process, and collating my work to give to others. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I'm so glad that you are listening to this. Thank you so much. Please let us know. If you want to contact Yia, let me know. I will put you in contact with her. She's incredible. This is Inspired Conversations with Emma and Cal, and it has been an absolute privilege and an honor today. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Mwah!
Yeah, see you later, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks, beautiful Emma. See you later.